Swapan Dasgupta, history is an interesting thing. In 2003, you wrote, while writing for rediff.com, that Ayodhya was a near revolution. You also wrote, Mandir wahi banayenge, these lustful chants, I'm paraphrasing, these lustful chants will not get the kind of electoral dividends that they once did. Exactly 20 years later, we're looking at the Ayodhya moment, the imminent Ayodhya moment. How would you describe it today? And when you look back at your own description of it as a near revolution, do you think you made a mistake then? Or did something change in the interim that we haven't yet quite understood?
Well, it's always a bit awkward to have your own words thrust back on you. But I was actually paraphrasing something which A.J.P. Taylor said about the revolutions of 1848 in Germany, that it was a turning point in the history when history refused to turn. Now, in 2003, when you saw at that particular point Bajpayee trying to grapple with the remnants of a Karseva, and you can remember that there was a Karseva there that led to a lot of acrimony between the government and the Hindu forces. At that time, you said, well, they are just walking into different directions. And what changed were two things. First, the defeat of the BJP in the two consecutive elections, 2004, 2009, the realization that you needed a different direction. And then one of the things which came to your rescue and pointed it was the Allahabad High Court judgment in 2010. You see, I don't think a lot of people, too many people actually believed that the judiciary would ever allow this issue to be resolved in the courts. That the judiciary would find its own way of actually prevaricating, and it's a very difficult issue. It's not really a legal issue. It's much more than a legal issue. Why should the judges take the onus of take the responsibility of all that? So a lot of us actually believed that it was not going to be resolved in that judicial way, and it was going to be a 100-year fight.
But the argument about diminishing returns, politically speaking, is an interesting one, because while we are heading towards a near political crescendo, some might call it the culmination of a decades-long, not just religious movement, but political movement. And it begs the question, after the Mandir, what?
No, it is certainly a culmination of a lot of things. I remember I have vivid memories of the last thing I saw when departing from Ayodhya on December 6th, 1992.
You were there?
Yeah, I was there. And a clutch of Karsevaks returning going away from the site and shouting, Ram Lala hum aayenge, bhavya mandir banayenge. So there was that there was that anticipation of a pledge redeemed. To that extent, what's happening now. And yes, at present, I think all of us who invested a lot emotionally in the Ayodhya movement, feeling that, at least something has come about, which we never expected it to come in our lifetime. So there is that sense of fulfillment. But yes, you're right. What happens after that? Okay, the fallout of this can happen for 6 months, 1 year, etc. But yes, there will come a time when, if you're saying that this is a temple of modern India, that this is going to actually personify something more than just religion, it is actually a symbol of your national identity. Then what is that national identity taking us? Where is it taking us? Now, I think this has been in the minds of the Prime Minister for a long time. And so when he gave this call for Vikshit Bharat, developed India, I think what it wants is that you want to catapult India from being a pathetic third world nation with a proud civilization, a long history, something of the past, to a country which has a bright future awaiting it. So it's that sense which I think he wants to cultivate in people. Now, how do you politically inject that message into the electorate and into electoral politics? I think that's going to be the big challenge. So, yes, you're going to get the dividends of Ram Janmabhoomi, you're going to get the dividends of this Ram temple, but with the next step.